Hey everybody, it's Jang here from jangbricks.com with a look at a summer 2014 LEGO Legends of Chima set. This is Eris's Fire Eagle Flyer, and it comes with 330 pieces. I have done something unusual and maybe even a little bit brave here. I have dared to pose this thing in its default pose, not the best looking pose, to get things kicked off and to get things started. This is the normal way that this thing will look when it's just sitting around, sitting on the ground. It is able to transform, and we'll see exactly how that works in a minute. But I did want to point out that this one has some issues with it. My biggest problem is that this is basically supposed to be a mechanical bird that has landed, so it's in its perching position, but it's not really able to perch properly. It's sitting on its tail back here, and it's on its feet very strangely. It's kind of up on the balls of the feet. You can bring these rear claws down and kind of try to flush that out a little bit, but it's awkward to me, and it's kind of in an in-between state. You can actually move this farther, and then you can see it's moving farther up on the balls of its feet towards the front. It just really seems like it's not intended to be perched like this. It needs to be standing on something like a real bird normally would, be on a stick or a branch or a fence or something like that. That makes sense and all, but nobody, well, very, very few people who are going to be actually playing with this are going to have a Lego made fence or a tree branch or something like that. So this is just a little bit, more than a little bit awkward to me. Actually kind of seems like a mistake. On the back, you see you've got a number of stickers used here. So a sticker here, 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 here. A lot of stickers, small little ones that in my eye just don't make a big difference to it. And the ones on the head especially don't quite look right for the theme to me. They seem like afterthoughts, so I'm not a big fan of those here. This is kind of a cockpit section right here, so you've actually got a console, and you can see as I start to pick this up already, it's starting to transform. That's a beautiful thing. I really appreciate that, especially because once it's transformed, it actually looks pretty nice. Nice long wingspan there. The tail is looking a little bit long, but yeah, you can actually move this back and forth in flight and almost make it look like it's flying, almost like it's flapping its wings. That's really, really, really nice. Now, when you move the arms, or excuse me, the wings forward, analogous to arms on a bird, the claws come forward also. That's a little bit funky just because it's got really big feet. So when you've got your wings all the way forward, you got your feet all up in your face almost, it seems like. While you're flying, you can just kind of let those dangle down. It makes a little bit more sense, I think. Just looks a little bit better. Plus, if you really want to force it forward, you can kind of make it look like it's coming in to grab something and then just kind of pull it back a little bit. Or you can start to go into the sitting kind of stance, but as you do that more, again, you need your Lego built fence or tree trunk or power lines or something to stand on, because the tail is just sitting way back there and I just can't get past that. It's way too blaringly obvious and awkward to me. This does have two shooters on it. So over here you've got one, over here you've got one. Those are the spring-loaded shooters, and we've got these transparent orange shots that'll come out. Nice color for that. You've got these pieces, the kind of chi crystal, large chi crystal pieces in transparent orange, once again, to go with the whole fire chi theme. And the head on this one is actually able to go up and down just a little bit. Here's just a look at the thing from underneath as it transforms, so you can see how smooth that is. It's a really nice action, and if you use gravity in your favor, you can transform back and forth between the two modes without even having to pull it back. Just let gravity do one of the moves for you. The minifigs here, left to right, are Eris, then Lagravis, and Strainor from the icy side. These are pretty nice looking figures. You've got Eris, who's been chi'd up with the fire chi, so a very different look, and I like her weapon quite a lot. That is a very nice build on top of the newer angled blaster piece that has studs on most sides. Just makes for a great bow. You can actually change the angles of these little bits out towards the ends. It's more of a crossbow, I think, the way that it's designed to be used. But I think it just really looks good. It's large, but it's not crazy large like a lot of the Legends of Chima weapons are for the minifigs. And you've got this new piece used with the weapon for the Gravis. Just put that in there instead of an old lightsaber blade style piece. Nice, simple, straightforward, and sensible upgrade. And then of course you've got Strainor from the Saber Tooth tribe. Got a little bit of transparent action going on there. Got this weapon that's all very fangy at the ends. Kind of looks like just a large claw. It's a pretty nice piece. It can be used in a couple of different ways at least. I like that. It's also chi powered. And then there's a look at the figures from the back, and there's not really much you can see here because most of the stuff on the Chima characters are covered up by default. With a whole bunch of stuff removed, you can see what you normally would never see on these characters. Prints on the backs of the torsos. Also, alternate faces. Can't really see the faces in any form underneath the large head pieces that go on top. See? Very different expressions than were apparent with the heads on. But like this, you're also being able to see more of the torso prints on the front. Also included in this set is this small little ice trap. Now you can either see this as being an actual trap that will be used against the Fire Alliance member of your choice, to actually trap them, or as the bit of ice, the block of ice that Strainor is actually being thawed out from it, where you would actually find him coming out. Very nice piece. Mostly just one piece here with the transparent light blue. And when you bring in a minifigure and actually place it in there, it really hugs around them quite well. Works with the epaules, I believe is how it's pronounced. The shoulder armor bits, yeah. Also goes around the chi that's on the front, whichever one that you're using. And it kind of hugs the arms around the sides a little bit. Okay, so a nice transformed mode, a slick transformation between the two modes. The sitting mode, though, really has some definite, obvious flaws to it. Also, the color scheme of that thing, I understand that it's tough to put together the white and blue of the Eagle tribe, plus the yellow bits of the simulated bird here, plus the red from the whole fire thing that's going on right now. Tough to pull off. Don't know if I personally could have done it better myself, but regardless, I still don't like the end result. I feel like the colors are all over the place and the decals, the stickers really don't help. The minifigs are nice. They're not outstanding, but they're nice. In all, I'm going to have to say this is my least favorite of the Summer 2014 LEGO Legends of Chima sets. It's not a bad set, it's just not that great in my opinion. Feel free to disagree or agree. Post up your thoughts in a comment. Always good to see different people's opinions. For me, it's now time to go build some more stuff so I can bring you some more videos. So stay tuned. More are on the way. I'll be talking to you again very soon. Hello, it's Jang here from JangBricks.com with a look at a Summer 2014 LEGO Legends of Chima set. This is Laval's Fire Lion. The set comes with 450 parts. The Fire Lion is another one of those funky looking half-tracked Chima vehicles, but I think this one is executed quite nicely, as you'll see once I show the transforming feature of this thing. I think it looks pretty consistent all around the thing with the amount of coverage that it has versus things that are kind of unfinished, uncovered, bricks and Technic lift arms and things where you can see holes. I think it just looks pretty consistent. Really nice lines. They've done very nice things with the mane here that they've created. You see you've got a really nice jaw detail here, a very strong chin, and they're using the teeth pieces that were introduced, I believe, with Mixels to good effect here. And you've got kind of staggering of them. And then you've got the strong claws with the fire ends on them, these relatively new pieces in transparent orange. And it also has a flick-fire missile launcher over here, which kind of looks like a rocket pack, like a rocket pod, a whole bunch of them together. You got 4 of these missiles together, and they're intended to launch all at once from pushing a single button. See how that works. That was kind of weak. Let me try it with some more force. The cockpit is pretty nice on this with that nice transparent orange wraparound windscreen. Almost looks like the Fire Lion has shades on. And you see just a couple little stickers in there. And again, all of this back here can be tilted back to open it up. This one piece right here I've had trouble with. It just tends to fall out pretty easily. I think you'll get a little bit of variance from piece to piece whether those will stick together for you or not. And this is a 2-seat cockpit, so you can insert both Laval and Krieger. Bring down that top part, fits in there nicely, and there you go. There's your finished up and populated cockpit. In the back here you can see the little fire chi crystal, which is being used to power the whole thing, and that also actually hides a little storage compartment. So beneath here you've got a container that you can actually take out, and this contains the blue chi crystal, which Mungus is trying to get to fully power up. Down below there, it's easy to miss this, but they've also given us a couple of little minifig tools to work on the thing if it breaks down. Now let's check out the transformation. You simply grab it from the back up here, and you're going to pull that up, and the whole thing goes wah. Check it out from this angle. A lot of things are moving very smoothly. You can see that you've got the forearms pretty much staying facing just directly forward, but the upper arms are moving, the shoulders are rotating back, and most importantly, the head is changing. It's opening the mouth and closing the mouth very smoothly. One thing that's not so great about this is that the whole thing is intended to roll. So if you just pull from the place where you're supposed to pull, it'll actually just start to roll on you instead of transforming. So you kind of need to hold it down in the front or just on the base somehow in order to get that to happen. Also, this handle back here feels kind of flimsy. It's not actually going to come apart. It's put together pretty securely. It just feels wonky. The regular minifigs in this set are Laval and Krieger with a Fire Valius and Venge blade, respectively. They've got the Fire Chi on their chests, and they also do have new torsos for this season, as well as new hips and legs. There's a look at them from the back, not much to see, until you take a bunch of stuff off, as usual. The torsos are shared between these, and there's a look at them from the front. This here is Hugh, H-U-G-H. Last name Mungus. He is a big fig with a tiny little head. A very, very, very big fig with a very, very, very tiny little head. Kind of strange that a mammoth or something elephant-like would chi up and power up and become huge and just have a tiny little head. You would think that an elephant, of all things, would have a huge head and a huge muscular tusk and everything, but well, this is the way that they made him. No articulation all throughout the body. That's all one piece. You just have your arms that can be moved up pretty far. This has a good pounding kind of look. Move back. You can rotate the hands around. And for a weapon, he's got a spiked club known as a tongue tuska. And it's just going to be another clobbering kind of weapon. The interesting thing here, to me at least, is the head, which is the same one that's used on a minifig. You just have tiny little minifig head underneath of there. What a weird look that is, huh? When my wife put this together, she immediately said, "Hey, that looks like Beetlejuice at the end of the Beetlejuice movie." Hey, you're messing up my hair. Honestly, doesn't look too bad with the full head on, though. That's just kind of a traditional, oversized barbarian look. I feel like this is a very successful set, very well done. The transforming kind of motion is very smooth, looks really good. The figures that come with this I think are pretty good. The color scheme works really well throughout the vehicle and also with the figures. Those go together quite well. Brings us some nice parts in some new colors. And the things that I could call flaws are pretty minor. Overall, just seems well done and I'm happy with it. Those are my thoughts. Feel free to share your thoughts in a comment, whether you liked the set or you didn't like the set. Also hit thumbs down on the video if you didn't like my video, or thumbs up on the video if you did like my video. Either way is much appreciated. Your feedback is always a good thing. I hope that you'll come back soon for more of my videos, because more are on the way. Bye for now. Hey everybody, it's Jang here with a look at a LEGO Legends of Chima set. This is Bladvic's Rumble Bear. Comes with 415 pieces. Comes with one good guy figure and two bad guy figures. And clearly this is another one of those highly animal-inspired vehicle type things, although it also is a mech. You see the big old tires, so you know that this is going to convert and be used as a vehicle as well, and that is the main kind of action feature of the entire thing. Just taking a look at the overall shape of it and everything. I really like that head, actually. I think that the head is exceptionally nicely done, especially with new colors. I love to get new colors of very useful pieces. In this case, we get two of those very useful short little roof pieces that are used for just regular vehicles. And I like how they did a little bit of studs on the side construction here to get the upper tooth, the upper canine tooth in there. These ears, interestingly enough, can actually be angled. See, this is a really good little shape of an animal head. It's just very nicely done. The ears can be rotated down because of the way that they're attached, and that kind of changes the expression on the face, if you will. And the entire head is on a ball joint, so you can rotate it up, you can twist it to the side. So you use that in conjunction with the ear, and see how you just get those different looks. Also open up the mouth. It's a pretty good looking mouth. Everything about this, in terms of the head, I think looks good. The cockpit section is right here, so you just stand or sit your figure there. Handful of stickers used throughout the set, not too many of them though. The arms do use the CCBS, the character and creature building system large paws, and they have little brick-based claw fingers on them that can be articulated a little bit, but not too much. The entire thing you can rotate right here this way, and the entire thing is on a ball joint, so you can move this around a bit, but it's rather limited indeed. The main feature here is just the big old shooter, the large, in this case a fire sphere shooter, and each of these hands gets one of those. So there's not a whole lot that you can do with these arms. It's not like you can reach down and grab a bad guy that's on the ground with them, because they just don't have the range, and there's not all that much expressiveness you can get out of them either. There's actually less that you can do with the legs, unfortunately, because all this up here is just basically fixed in place. There's nothing you can do there. You can see you've got ball joints down here, but those aren't actually used because this is locked in place behind there, just for strength to get the thing to always stay standing up properly. So there's absolutely no articulation below the shoulders on this entire set. And then we already saw that the body is mostly dominated by these large tires, which is just a little bit on the too obvious side, I would say, but it's okay. It doesn't bug me too much. It's not an animal. It's not supposed to be organic. It's supposed to be a built-up mechanical thing. On the back, you've got a couple of large flames here, and that's pretty much all there is to see with this form. Now, we can go ahead and transform it into its other form, the Fire Chi power mode, which brings everything down like this. It snaps into place, and there's your vehicle. You can still rotate around the head and such, but bring these down, make sure that they're facing forward so that you can still shoot forward while you're charging down the battlefield, and there you go. That is your vehicle form now, which kind of looks like he's flying or surfing. It's kind of in a Superman pose, and he just rolls along. It's interesting. That's not my favorite kind of concept for how to do a transformation, but it works. It keeps all the main body and shape and everything of the bear there, and it's just transformed in how it's used. You still get your spot is still in the same relative place, kind of up on the shoulder section, and that's it. This handle doesn't really do much, unfortunately. It's useful for helping to initiate the transformation. I wish that you could hold it from here and then drive the thing around and kind of just have it lean in turns. You can do that a little bit, but if you pick this up at all, like if you go over a jump, then because of the weight, it's just going to lean down in the front. The Bladvic figure now, I think, is excellent. For a Chima figure, for their style, to get the brown bear tribe, and especially the leader of the brown bear tribe, into figure form, I don't think could have been done much better than this. I think that the shape of that headpiece works really great in the brown color. The markings work well. He's got the fire harness there. He's got a golden jar of honey, I'm assuming. He's got a nice looking weapon with the gold claw ends. He's got the little fire emblem on the back of it. He's got the wings. I think this is really, really well done. For something that we're only going to get in one single set, unless they do some other promotional deal or something, this has a good amount of effort put into it. With the fire harness removed, you can see the relatively generic torso piece for the team. Also, no secondary face on the back of the head, but I think that's fine because most of the time you're not going to see the head design underneath in there. But I think that head design that's underneath there looks good as well, and I could see this being used outside of the Chima line as well for some other sorts of costumes and stuff. The other two figures are Ice Claw and Vornon, which also I think look pretty cool, but my favorite things here are actually the weapons. I like how they're built. I like how they look in general, especially this nice little launcher on the back of Ice Claw right there. Two-handed thing, or it can be used as a two-handed thing, and even though it uses the stud shooter piece that I'm not a big fan of, I think that it uses it in a good way, because this looks like more of a kind of a rocket launcher sort of thing. I think that the large diameter of it works for this kind of design. Here's a closer and better look at the prints on the backs of these figures, and here's how they look up close from the front. Now Ice Claw gets this little vehicle called an ice sledge. It's just a small little snowmobile kind of style of getaway vehicle, I think. And it's obviously quite a step down from his mech, his big mech that was similar to the main set I'm reviewing here that we got the previous release season, but this thing is intended to be really for escaping and for going quite fast, which is why the main Rumble Bear needs to transform. It needs to get on those wheels so it can speed up. And incidentally, if you look on the back of the head of the Rumble Bear here, right where Bladvic can see as his kind of display console there, you can see Ice Claw's mech is displayed there. So the mech is being targeted, and I guess the idea of the timeline is that you target it with the Rumble Bear, you take it down, and then Ice Claw has to escape on his little sledge. I wish that the main mech here really acted a little bit more like a mech and had arms that had more articulation and had legs that could actually move, because it's a little bit limited like that. It works just fine in its vehicle mode, but it just looks a little bit awkward, I think, because it kind of looks like a bear that's splayed out, almost like a rug that runs on three huge wheels. I still like this set, probably mostly because of the design of the head and the figures. I also like the little sledge, but I, as an adult collector, also really appreciate the parts and the different colors of parts. I'm not going to go through all the colors of parts or recolored parts that are new here, because there are just too many here that are either new for their colors or rare for their colors. So for me, I